For it, you're going to have a flamenco also a major chord, where you grab the D and the G string with one, and it's kind of like a bar, right? That you displace, you shove that bar over to the side as you bring your second finger onto the second string to play that C sharp, right? Right. And so on the right hand, you want to lock your thumb on the sixth string, right? As you strum, right? And you want to get a good index snap. And then you have an E7 that doesn't double the seventh, so it's 2 and 1. And then you double the seventh by bringing that D here, right? And that's all index, right? Then you have a tap. I'm going to do this, the side, the pad of my finger instead of the nail. If you had a flamenco guitar, you will be tapping on it. I'm not going to do that on my classical, right? Up, down, up, right? That's tricky. A lot of people just try to go down. Just start with up, right? And then you add this, double the seventh with the pinky there, right? And then back to A major. Right. So if you need help with refreshing the right hand pattern, I have another tutorial on that. We can look at it another time. Now let's go over to the next system. You have a D major chord, A major chord, E7, A major. Right. So we put that together. Kind of do that same llamada, which is the call. You know, this is what what flamenco dancers, singers, and guitar players do when they're talking to each other. You know, they want to go to another section. They use a llamada, you know, a call. And this one is more elaborate. Instead of doing, he's actually doing the rasgueado de bola. To repeat that, I'm just going to move forward. It's just a major chord where you're just doubling the tonic, right? You have a high A, right? So instead of doing a bar like that, you just do a full bar, well, not full bar, half bar there, and get the first rhythm. That's another form of E7, right? And you could easily do that. But of course, what he wants is so you're keeping that voice in a soprano, right? And then you jump all the way to the ninth position, right? So that's your B, ninth position. 3 and 4 are half stacked on the same ninth fret, 10th fret. 1 and 2, that's the third and first string for 3 and 4. And then on the D string and the B string, you're going to have 1 and 2 in the ninth position. And that's a fully diminished seventh chord. You're going to move that back to sixth position. And you're going to move it back to second position. Well, kind of third, but it's second because you have to open out your index finger. So now it's no longer a diminished chord. Now it's a seventh chord. It's a dominant. Which makes sense because we are in A major and E major, or E7 is a dominant, right? So many different versions of E7, right? So again. Resolve out, and then you just put a seventh on the chord. So instead of 4, it's now an A7, which means we're going to go into a different key. Now we're going to go into the world of D major. And lo and behold, we're in D major. Remember, 1 on the G, 2 on the first string, 3 is on the B string, right? Right, and then you're back over to A major. Now, A major, you could do it this way because that's the soprano, but he wants a fuller chord up here. So you're doing a full bar on the 5th position. 3 and 4 are on the 5th and 4th strings on the 7th fret. 2 is on the G string. Right? So it's a little bit fuller, right? Instead of this, a little bit thinner. Right? Yeah. That's an E major chord. Looks like a C major chord with 4, 3, and 2, right? C major. Instead of 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, move it up so that we found ourselves with a tonic there on the 7th fret on E, right? You got your G sharp here on the D string, you got your E on the B string, and you're making a mini bar there. You don't have to worry about the 6th string because your thumb is locked on the 6th string, or it's also still a root. It wouldn't matter too much, right? And then comes the picado. The thing about picado is you have to always make sure that you're alternating fingers and make sure that you're always trying to do positive crossings, right? Middle index, as opposed to index middle, right? You always want to have your hand in this position, right? Right. That's one consideration. The other consideration is when you're coming down, you want to also bring your hand up. You want to pull your hand over. Then you got the taps again, which I'm going to be very shy about. Again, I don't want to damage my French polish here. Llamada. And then the next part, we have a very beautiful falsetta, which basically means flamenco lick, flamenco solo. You make a bar on the upstairs formation, kind of like E major, right? On the 2nd position. 3 and 4 are on the A bass, D bass. 2 is on the G string. Then he likes it so much that he makes you do it again. And then if you can, hold your bar there and play the melody out of that. It's really worth it because you're going to do it again later on. So again. And then you do the same formation, but you move it downstairs. We call it the downstairs formation, right? And I'm not making this up. This is how in Spain they actually call it. They call C major posición escalera, ladder, upstairs, arriba, downstairs, abajo, por arriba, por abajo. And flamencos will use this terminology, even singers and dancers. They all know about this. It's such a guitar-centric culture. You just got to love them for it. So. And then you just move and do the same thing over. I'm going to do it slowly this time. Sorry. Notice I'm bringing my thumb across, right? P-I-M-A, index middle ring, and then thumb, thumb, thumb. And then I think we do D major, right? A major. And then we have another run, right? Right. The last run is going to be almost exactly the same, but we're going to end up on a C sharp, right? One thing that flamenco players do is a lot of rest strokes. Make sure you pull your hand back as you're doing it. And then you just practice getting it quicker. Or, and then you have another llamada. Then 2 taps. And then you have a pickup note. We're talking about pickup notes, right? Our notes that bring you into the next section of the piece. Right, so you're going to find yourself in 4th position. You're going to use fingers 1 and 2, but first, of course, it's open E, and this is all thumb. Pull off, and hammer back on. That easy. And then on the A bass, your thumb is already there because we did a rest stroke, right? And then 1 on the A bass, and then pinky on the A bass. You're going to do a double thumb stroke, 6th string and 5th string. Right? And then you're going to start now out of the 5th string. And then a double thumb stroke, 5th string and 4th string, right? So 5th string here, E, F, G, A, pull off, F, and then back to A with your pinky and the double thumb stroke. A bass and D string, right? And then you're going to carry on from the D string. Almost the same combination, same formula, right? So A, B, C, and then pull the D to the C sharp. Then again, then you do another pull off from 3 to 1, C sharp to B. right? So, and then you just land your bar right there in fourth position. 3 grabs the G sharp. 2 is going to grab the E. What did I do? 4th string with thumb, 1st string with index. And then the thumb should have rest stroke. So I'm right there on the G string, right? I just bring my thumb down. Right? And then you're going to find yourself here on 6th position really, but 2 and 3 are stacked or half stacked, so to speak, on the 7th fret, on the D and on the B. Then 2 gives way to the C sharp right behind it on 1, back to 2, right? So, and on the right hand, thumb, right? Index, and then all thumb. 1st string only for the index. Then you move this back all the way to the 3rd position. It's easier to have 1 and 2 in place. 8th position, right? Yeah, they're all both on the 7th fret, and then you just move 1 and 2, right? Because you need that C sharp on the 6th fret. 1 is just grabbing the A, right? So all of that part. And then you're going to find yourself in 4th position yet again. I would start with 2 and 1 right there on the 1st string, because you're going to do a pull up from 2 to 1, right? You're going to grab that F sharp with 4 on the B string. I start with middle finger in the right hand, right? So 2 to 1, 4 on the B string, 3 to 4 on the B string, 1st string 1, and then you're going to take that 1 and bring yourself back to 2nd position. 2 grabs the B string there for the D, and that's going to take you, you're going to use 2 to bring you to 1st position as you move just to the C sharp, right? So let's just watch. Instead of just playing that, you're going to land your ladder C major chord. Instead of C major, it's a C sharp major this time. You're going to have to accompany it with a little bit of a bar. On the right hand is thumb, index, middle, ring. Notice that I did a rest stroke with my thumb, so I can just bring it there down afterwards. 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Then you make a bar on the 2nd fret. It's just 1 and 3 there. And then you have your run, right? You end up on a C sharp, right? He wants to make that unstable by not putting it in root position, so that you have that little bit of a coda at the very end, right? That tells you, oh, it's not quite done yet, right? You're not in the root of the chord. Tap, tap. And you're going to also use that as your root, right? Right, back to that C sharp chord. And then you just move it over, a little bit difficult, right? To the 2nd position, to the 4th position for an E, and then back to the 2nd, to D major, tap, tap. And then he wants you to do dominant, right? It's a bar in the 2nd. 3 and 4 are half stacked on the G string and the B string on the 4th fret. 2 grabs a D, and then you just open out to an A major chord. That's all it is.